Hello, everyone. This is teacher André Hedlund. I'm a member of Partners of the Americas Goiás. I apologize for not sending this before, but we're still working on a lot of details. So the first thing I would like to say is thank you for joining us in this challenge. It's going to be rewarding, but it's also going to be a little difficult. So I decided to make this video to help you with some of the questions you might have. So let's start. We're going to work with the group that was selected for the program Goiás Sem Fronteiras. So we're working with some young people from the state of Goiás who are going to travel to the United States next month. I don't know if you know exactly how Goiás Sem Fronteiras works, so I advise you to take a look, to actually do some research and find out what the program is about so that you can better prepare your activities and lessons, okay? The idea is for us to give them a similar experience that they will have, similar to what they will have in the United States at the end of next month. So what do we know so far? First of all, we know that we will be dealing with 300 students. Their age is between 15 and 19 years old. We will have 12 groups of 25 students. They have different levels of English, but they were all able to pass the requirement, which was an English test. So everybody can speak English fluently. That's what we expect anyway. We'll be teaching at FASAM, that's the Faculdade Sul-Americana. It's close to BR 153. So you should be ready to go there. And I was informed that every classroom is equipped with a projector. However, there are no computers, so we really ask you to bring your laptops if that's a possibility. And there's also no internet on campus, so we cannot access Wi-Fi or anything like that, okay? If you are working with videos or audio files or anything that you have to access the internet, download everything before, and then you can access from your computer, okay? We will also have some computers available there. I don't know how many, so if you can bring your own laptop, that would be perfect. Now, how does this work? This is the timetable we were given. So this course, this immersion course, will happen from next Tuesday until Friday, including the holiday. So we're going to have 12 groups having classes from 8 to 11:40, from 8 to 11:40 in the morning. Then there's a lunch break. They come back at 1, and then they go till 4:40, okay? So we're gonna have 50-minute classes every day, 8 hours a day, okay? What we want you, teachers and volunteers who are also working with us, we want you to offer at least one period. So you could be working on, in the morning, so the morning period, so at least 4 hours, or in the afternoon, or both, okay? And we want you to be with the same group the whole period so that we don't have complicated logistics or anything like that. You stay in the same classroom, you work with the same group, you finish whatever you have to do in that period, okay? Now, what is expected of you? We want you to have availability for one of the periods, morning or afternoon. We want you to be responsible for class or activity preparation, of course, and delivery. I will give you some ideas in this video, but you are the boss. You are the one who's going to be there with the young people. So please, you have to take that into consideration. If you feel like you don't have time to prepare anything, then you have to reconsider. But I can tell you right now, it doesn't really require a lot of preparation. We're looking for something more focused on communication, on speaking, so you should have that in mind as well. Of course, we want you to be engaged with the students. They are excellent young students. They have a leadership profile, but they will be overloaded with classes. So we expect the students to be very tired, especially because they are studying at their regular schools as well. So we want you to have rapport with the students, to have them motivated throughout the whole period of your lessons. We also want you to guide them, because we want them to work with mini projects every period. As I told you, we want them to be able to communicate well, speaking, so public speaking. So they're going to have sort of a project-based class or project-based period. I'm going to explain how this works, but this is my suggestion, okay? This is how I am going to work with my students. You can completely change that if you feel it's necessary. That's okay, that's up to you. And we also want you to be able to evaluate the students, not in writing. It's always going to be speaking, oral, okay? So we are not going to give them tests. There will not be homework, except for research if you want. There won't be essays or compositions or lists of exercises. So it doesn't really require a lot of preparation in that sense. What do you get in exchange? So for the teachers who are working with us, because we know you have to take time from your tight schedule, your agenda. We know that you might be sacrificing hours that you would be planning or even teaching. You are going to get paid. The committee will pay you 50 reais one class, the hour of the class, so you get paid. In the whole period, you're going to get paid 200 reais, okay, if you stay for the whole period. On Thursday, that's the holiday, you're going to get paid 70 reais the hour of the class. However, I must tell you that we don't need any more teachers for Thursday. We have it all closed already. So that's how it works, okay? Now, as for the volunteers who are going to work with us, unfortunately, we're not going to pay you, but we're going to give you a certificate of attendance. So you're going to get a certificate for 30 hours of participation in this program. And we are offering a letter of recommendation from Partners of the Americas. I will be responsible for writing this letter in case you want to apply I don't know, maybe an international program in the near future. I will be glad to give you this letter of recommendation talking about your work with us, especially during this program. And also you can include that in your resume. So this is going to be excellent for your curriculum because you have to mind something that you are working with Goiás Sem Fronteiras. It's a governmental program. And it's something that doesn't really happen. It's not so usual, unfortunately. It doesn't happen every year. So this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the committee, for the teachers, and also for the volunteers. What does partner get in exchange? First, the partnership with the government. We are going to be able to work in future opportunities, as I put there, the last one. We're going to get some attention because we intend to do a great job, right? And we're going, excuse me, we're going to get some funds as well. So whatever we get paid from the government is going to be either directed to pay the teachers or is going to become the funds of our committee. Something very important to have in mind as well. The schedule is not complete. It's not complete because we heard about this program just yesterday, to be very honest. The government is running a very tight schedule, unfortunately. So I am the one responsible for doing this. So I'm the person who is actually putting everything together in terms of schedule. So I really, really ask you to be patient because we still are getting teachers who are interested in volunteers so that I can have a bigger picture and then I can assign different classes or lessons or whatever we are working on. So I would really appreciate if you didn't send me a lot of messages or emails or audio messages asking how it's going to work because honestly, I don't know now. I don't have a clear picture now. So by Monday morning, and I realize it's complicated to receive the schedule on a Monday morning, I will have it ready, hopefully, if nothing else goes wrong, okay? But I have a suggested syllabus for you to work with. So, as I told you, I want you to work with periods, right? Either morning or afternoon. This is what we thought might work well. And if everybody chooses to do that, I think it might be easier. So, for the first day, we're going to have the introduction class in the morning. So, every teacher will introduce themselves to their groups, and their groups are going to introduce, each one of the students will introduce themselves to the teacher. So this is a great way to break the ice and to tell them a little bit about your background, to share why you are a teacher, if you have any experience abroad, and to ask the things they like and dislike, their hobbies, their dreams, and everything. In the afternoon, and this might not be the same teacher again, right? This might not be the same teacher. We're going to work with expectations. So day one is really important. We really should stick to this. We don't want to do anything different, okay? So in the afternoon, you're going to tell them, what do you expect from this program? When you come back, what do you want to do? What are the things you think you're going to learn there, the people you're going to meet, the places you're going to visit? Are you excited? Are you worried? Are you nervous? So we're going to devote the whole afternoon to that. And I know it sounds like there's too much time, right, to talk about that, but I have to remind you that there will be 25 students in class, and all the students need to have an opportunity to speak, okay? Remember again, those students, they have a very interesting profile of leadership and dedication and effort. That's why they were selected for this program. So we are not expecting those students to be misbehaved in any sense. They are very focused on what they want. So I believe we can probably have very long debates and conversations, okay? Now, day 2, 3, and 4, I decided to create 4 modules, and I'm going to explain them after. But basically, they are my home. So they're going to talk either about their hometown or state of Goiás or the country, Brazil. Global competences. That's very important because that's what they're going to learn in the United States. There are a lot of global competences that I could mention here, but I will tell them later. In this presentation, I actually have the topics for you to know, and you will be responsible for preparing this part. I will give you some tips, I will send some ideas, but you will have to find the resources anyway. I can give you some, but I expect you to find more. And useful language will be basically about transportation, airport language, or food, ordering food in a restaurant in case they go to one, or asking for directions, or basic survival tips for them. They will be monitored by coordinators all the time. But still, if they choose to be alone on the weekend or something like that, I don't even know if that's possible. I think it's not. But just to be safe, we're going to teach them a couple of useful things they can use in the airport or some other daily routine situation. And again, global competences and my home. So here the idea at the beginning of day 2 is for them to start talking about their home, for them to have ideas of how they can present that when they are in the United States. And maybe at the end of the last day, they can present that and we can be the evaluators of this. So teachers and volunteers can sit and watch the presentations. So this is a suggestion. Please, if you don't agree with this, you can do it your own way, okay? What about the lessons? Well, I thought the best way to work with the lessons is in a very communicative way. So again, we have to focus on speaking. That means that we can use conversations, debates, oral presentations, or a lot of group work so that they can talk. Of course, we can use reading. We can print. I will explain that later. But you can send all the worksheets or anything that you want so that I can print and then give to your students. And reading can be used to provoke a debate or conversation, of course. Of course, you can also have some questions, interpretation questions, no problems. But we are not focusing on reading so much. It's more about conversations, okay? Writing as little as possible. There will be no essays, there will be no compositions, there will be no texts, no tests as well. So writing just to answer the reading questions, or maybe to do some kind of activity in class, okay? And the global competences are, some of them anyway, leadership, entrepreneurship, worldview, social engagement, negotiation, and collaboration. So every time you're working with a global competence module, try to incorporate things like that. So maybe you can show a video about leadership, or you can show a video about something completely different and ask them to explain why this video represents leadership or entrepreneurship or anything you want to work with. And at the end of the module, again, they have to present something or they have to talk about something, okay? Suggested lesson structure. We would like you to think, I would like you to think about this structure here. So maybe we can start with a problem. The problem will be in the form of a presentation by the teacher, an introduction. You can use an image to provoke the students, a text, a video, or questions. If you choose to use image, text, or video, remember there will be no internet access, so you have to download everything you need before. If you want to use questions, you can just ask them or you can write them on the board. This part of the lesson should be to provoke the students to have an idea of what they are going to present at the end of this module. Remember, 4 hours, right? This is the morning period, for example. Then you have research. That's practice. For those of you who use the PPP framework, so collaboration, structure, design, investigation, schematics, or draft. That's what we want. We want them to sit together in groups. We want them to talk. We want them to structure whatever they're going to present in the last hour of this period. And we want them to draw or maybe just write the skeleton of their presentation. And they should have some kind of draft. And you as a teacher will be monitoring. You as a volunteer will be monitoring. So you can just walk around the classroom and help students with their problems. And if you are a volunteer, you're probably in college right now. So you just use your knowledge of things you learn from your teachers, from your professors, from methodology classes to help them do their research, okay? So this research period, again, this is up to you. It could be 1 hour, it could be 2 hours. It really depends on your class, on what you want to propose. Finally, you have the exhibition. So this will be the production stage, students' presentation. So students should get up, they go there. It could be on an individual basis because they all plan together, but they can present by themselves, or they can present in groups. That's okay. So think about seminar, public speaking, assessment. It's very important to give them feedback on this stage, okay? Remember again, you have 4 hours to do this whole thing. So you have to have that in mind because it might feel like a long time, but you have 25 students and you have to help them throughout the process, right? So for the practice stage, just to give you a tip, we need to have some kind of material for them to do the research. So we have to have either videos or texts or images or anything, a magazine if you have something, okay? And the materials is all on us, so you have to prepare what you want to bring, okay? So maybe you can have a PowerPoint presentation like this. This is my suggestion, and I will make this template available for you to download until Monday, okay? So module 1, my home problem. So you can start with questions, or you could have an image or a video or a text, right? Where do you live? Share with someone you don't know. So they get together in pairs, in trios, and they start talking about where they live. A lot of those young teens, they probably know each other. So maybe you can ask them to talk to someone, as I told you, someone they don't know. So they can just diversify a little, right? Then how would you describe your hometown? What do you know about the city you're going in the USA? And this is the problem. So the problem is, oh, I'm talking about my city, my home, and I probably have to compare that with the city I'm going to the USA, right? And then you go to the research. So this should take some time. This should take some time. You can have a longer conversation about things. Here you can show, or you can use yourself as an example and talk about your home. I'm from São Paulo, São Roque, São Paulo. I could bring that into the classroom. And then you go to research. Now research, again, I give some instructions here. In groups, write down interesting facts about your hometown, include history, geography, and economy. So this should take a while. Maybe for this stage, you can have people who live in the same place together so that they can actually collaborate. We want them to collaborate. They can help each other remember facts. Then select your focus. So you talked about history, geography, economy, could be anything else. But now you have to focus on one of those. You cannot talk about all of them. Maybe you can. This is just what I'm suggesting. Maybe you shouldn't. That's up to you. Because at the end, they will not have more than 2 minutes to speak. Remember, 25 students. We have to do this in 1 hour. So 25 times 2, 50 minutes plus feedback, quick feedback. Maybe we are going to need even more than 1 hour, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Design the skeleton of your presentation. So they should have materials. They will have their own material. We don't have to bring anything. So they will have pencils and notebooks probably. We can have some flip charts or cardstock or something on the wall for them to write. That's okay too. And practice your your presentation. So this all should be happening in the 4-hour period, right? Plus the problem, so research now. And finally, exhibition. So again, exhibition will probably take more than 1 hour of your lesson. So again, it's not about planning so much, but it's about being there, evaluating. I ask the students to go to the front of the class. It could be just one at a time or the whole group. If you choose to do the whole group, give them more time. Classmates will take notes and ask questions at the end so that they can have more interaction, right? Not if you're doing this on an individual basis, maybe you can just give them 1 minute to ask questions, 2 or 3 questions. You can narrow down, limit the number of questions. Feedback by teachers and peers. So, of course, you are going to tell them what you think was okay. So start with constructive, positive reinforcement, right? And then you tell them what you think they can improve. And again, that shouldn't be a problem. They are expected to face challenges. So it's okay if you tell them right in front of the whole class what you think they can improve on. But be sure to be gentle, kind, and do it in a positive way anyway. Take notes and try to improve for the next time. So that's what they have to do after they present. It's always, the intention is for them to improve anyway. And finally, closing remarks. I would really appreciate if you could be self-sufficient, if you could do most of the things. I don't want you to ask me to send me a lot of things. I'll be very busy this weekend planning the whole thing. So whatever you think might fit, is adequate, do it. Okay, there are no parameters. You don't have to ask me all the time. Be patient. I will send a template you can download with ideas of the presentation, brain breaks and activities you can do, but please don't send me a lot of messages. Where is it? I'm really going to try to do it till Monday morning, okay? Send me all the material you need printed, okay? So again, you have to prepare for a level of English in which people can speak okay, they have some fluency, they can communicate because they're going to the United States. So have that in mind, please. You can prepare. I would advise you to prepare or to find videos or texts that could be adapted, or maybe one video that is, let's say, intermediate and another video that is a little more advanced, so you can work with this band intermediate, advanced, so that you don't have any surprises. We don't know, unfortunately, we don't know which groups we are going to be teaching, and if they are excellent or if they are just on average, just above the intermediate line. So it's complicated for us to tell you. So again, be prepared for this. Bring your laptops, just to be safe, and download the videos or audio files you need. The texts, again, also. If you want, you can project the texts. There will be a projector, right? But you can send us the material so we can print. Change groups, patterns of interaction, play games. Those students will be completely overloaded, as I told you, overloaded with a lot of classes. So the classes, they need to be dynamic somehow. Ask them to change seats every couple of minutes, like 25 minutes, let's change. Have them stand up and stretch, play games. You can bring a ball or whatever you think you can use. You can bring your own games. You can create your own games, board games. You can print that so that the students don't feel drowsy and tired all the time. It's going to be a hard week for them. Of course, they're very excited, but still, we should probably make it easier on them, right? Speak only English. That's kind of obvious. We're doing an immersion course, so please do not use Portuguese, and encourage. I don't think you'll have a lot of problems with that, but there's always one or two who will insist on speaking Portuguese, okay? That's it. Thank you very much. So again, I don't even remember if I introduced myself. I'm André Hedlund. I guess I did, right? I am very, very happy you are helping us, and I hope that you get something very positive out of this experience. And if this works well, I'm pretty sure we're going to be called again to do this same program in April. And I would love to count on your help again. And I think it's going to be a win-win-win situation for everybody, okay? That's it. Thank you very much. And again, be self-sufficient, do your thing. I'm sure you can do it. You don't have to ask for help all the time, okay? Thank you very much. And that's it. Have a great weekend. Start planning something, okay?